Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Solid red. Hello. Yep, so we're out here exploring some new waters.
Yeah, buddy. Sweetest Sound since Spring Break 1999.
And for Inside, I was actually filming an Inside report right now too. So I was doing the pre-trip plan. We just hit spot number 2 and on the way to spot number 3, and this redfish slammed the tweaker.
What color are you using?
Nothing but the Turd Ferguson, my favorite.
Look at him digging down.
Solid red.
That's a beaut, Clark.
But yeah, we were just kind of high-speed trolling over there, just casting as we went, and this red came and smoked it. So now I guess we'll slow down and fish our way to the shoreline up ahead of us.
So that's a slam here. We got snook, trout, reds, and special ladyfish.
Yeah, the elusive ladyfish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid tournament.
Yeah, it's in the slot,
there,
probably 23 or 24 or so. All right. Yeah, just munching down in that grass. And we got it. Solid fish.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Turd Ferguson tweaker right there in its mouth. Very nice.
I'll get a pic for you there, Lukey.
Yep, we'll get the lighting better. All right, solid fish there.
Nice.
All right, let's let this guy go.
All right, we'll see if there's any more out there. That was just right there in the middle, huh?
Yeah, it was just hanging out on that flat.
A foot of water.
Yep, there she goes.
Oh, I think it's caught in your line.
Yeah. There he goes. Yeah, so as you can see, we're in real shallow water. Like it's only like, I mean, it's obvious that's grass down there, so it's probably about 12 inches. It's like fluctuate from like 12 to probably maybe 18 inches. The grass is coming all the way up to the surface in some instances, and that redfish was probably just meandering around this grass and looking for a meal.
Picked the wrong lure to mess with.
Yep. Couldn't help going after the little Turd Ferguson.
It's a funny name.
And so for situations like this, when there's so much grass, that's the importance of really the value of solid plastics is this is super streamlined. It's calm and clear, so we don't want to have any big rattles. It'll spook the fish. We're in the high pressure area. We're in Bradenton, Florida. So it gets a lot of traffic.
Ooh, that was right on me. Hit it again.
And so skin hook the point, and that way there's literally nothing that the grass can get attached to. So that's what we're using.
Cast right back out there, Luke.
Yeah, Joe just had something hit his. And also I have super light line as well. I'm literally using 7-pound braid and a 12-pound leader with just a little 20-pound bite tippet at the end.
Man, I can't believe I somehow missed that. Well, it happens.
So there's more out here. We're just kind of drifting.
All right, so what did you say? What pound test?
Ooh, I just have 7-pound braid.
7-pound braid and what leader?
A 12.
Oh my gosh.
That's all you need. I mean,
Such a minimalist.
There's no structure out here, so you don't need to have anything super strong.
Wow. Thankfully, I caught the snook for the day so far. Jeesh.
Yeah.
It lasted a second.
Yeah, we didn't have the camera going. It was low light then, but Joe's snook was like 14 inches. So I don't know if
I needed every bit of my 20-pound mono.
All right, so no, that was a bigger fish there. That was not a mullet that just hit something.
And maybe, I don't know if you can, Joel, if you see a chance, if any mullet go by or anything else on the surface, zoom in on that. We've seen a few different questions from some members, and I saw one actually this morning, which is why I'm thinking about it, that were asking what to look for when we're looking for bait or boils. And he was in Florida, but had moved, I believe, from New Jersey or somewhere where it was a little bit darker, murkier water, and just wasn't used to what to look for. And for us, I think it's natural. I mean, if just looking around, I can see little boils, and you see, like, Joel, right there. Look, right in front, yeah.
Directly that way.
Yeah, so there's, on the right-hand side, if you're watching this, there was some mullet. Mullet just jumped right there in Joel's side of view. There's another little boil right there in front. And you're just looking for anything that doesn't look like normal still water. And obviously, if it's super windy, a little bit tougher, but even then, you train your eyes just to look for things that are regular, right? Joel, you just went and did this beach fishing, surf fishing course, same deal. Like, I haven't even seen the course, but I know what he's probably gonna say in terms of the 30,000 foot view is you look for a beach that has something that's irregular, that doesn't look like every other little part of the beach. That usually means it's some sort of structure or a depth change to create that. All right, man, I'm getting weeds all over the place. It's crazy how shallow this is, and it's there's fish everywhere. Luke, talk about this new rod.
Yeah, so we have
new rod coming out here any day now.
I actually have it. I was using it early this morning, but it's called the Slam Stick. It's just that might be a redfish right there. See those little boils right there in the water? That's either big mullet or a little school of reds. That's looking more like mullet, the more I look at it. Redfish, you'll see the tail pop up every once in a while, and these fish are meandering. But either way, we're casting right in them. Yes, this Slam Stick, it's a great, I just spooked up multiple fish. Even with that 7-pound line, that 7-pound braid landed on some fish and spooked them. So yeah, this area gets a lot of pressure, and these fish are ultra spooky. But yeah, so this new rod though, it's a 7.6 rod, medium power. It's just an awesome all-purpose rod. So this slot machine, this is our highest end one. I'd be lying to you if I said this new one is as nice as the slot machine. The slot machine is the best rod I've ever used by far for inshore fishing. Slam Stick is just at a lower price point, but for its price, it's the best one that I've ever used on the market. And Insider Club members obviously get a good deal as always. But yeah, if you're in need of a rod and the price point is under the $200 mark, Slam Stick is going to be the one you want to check out. It is extremely nice. It casts an absolute mile. It was really designed for long casting. It has a short butt, great for kayakers, and really everybody else. For a light tackle rod, you don't need to have a 10-inch butt. But so it casts an absolute mile, has plenty of power to handle even overslot snook, overslot reds, and it has great feel. So I've been very happy with it.
Yeah, because the slot machine is not for everyone. And if you're someone who is, I'm getting weeds all over my lure here. If you're someone who's putting your rod in the back of the truck, beating it up, letting kids use it, don't get a slot machine. I would not let my kids near the slot machine rod. Get them a Slam Stick, an ugly stick, something else. That is probably one of the downsides. I don't think a lot of newer anglers realize it. When you have a high modulus rod like that and all that sensitivity, the downside is just like a Ferrari. You tap something on a Ferrari, all of a sudden you get a $10,000 bill. Ask me how I know. I'm kidding. Obviously, I don't have a Ferrari. But everything's just a little bit more delicate, a little bit more sensitive. That's how they get it so lightweight and so sleek. And we've seen quite a few people who are newer thinking they want the best. Nothing wrong with that. But man, treat it like kind of like doo-doo, if you will, and are breaking that thing. Like I would, right, Luke? I mean, I know you're probably guilty of it sometimes, of putting the rods in the back of the truck. And that one time that we were going to Jacksonville and we happened to go through a hailstorm, and guess what happened? As soon as we get on the water, rod breaks.
Yeah, but the slot machine is designed for just ultimate performance. It's all performance.
Like a Ferrari or a Lambo.
Yeah, like we literally don't even have paint on the blank. It's raw blank. That way, like zero feel is taken away, and it's the lightest possible. But paint, the pro of paint is that it's an extra protective layer on rod blanks, which is why all big manufacturers, the production rods all of them have paint so that their clients aren't breaking rods all the time. Paint weighs the rod down, number one. Number two is you lose feel, right? It's just an extra layer that doesn't need to be there. And it just causes, I just had something. I must have bumped a mullet. But yeah, it causes you to lose feel, which again, does not help catch more fish. But for it, just like Joe said, if you're bad on rods and don't take care of them, then do not get the slot machine. You're gonna have issues. That's what the Slam Stick's for. That has a layer of paint. It's much more bulletproof. That's the one that you can actually put in the bed of a truck. You don't have to use a rod sleeve. And yet it still has really good feel for its price point. But as you see, both Joe and I are using slot machines because it flat out is an extremely nice rod.
Yeah, and those rod sleeves help. Those new performance rod sleeves we have, they definitely help. But still, you gotta be really, really careful with your rods. Talk about the new Bomber, dude. The Mulligan Bomber.
Yeah, the Bomber. Yeah, I was actually using it earlier. The wind started off stronger than it is now. But actually, let me go ahead and get it. Go ahead and use it while I'm talking about it. Could be good luck. But what it is, so we have the Mulligan lure, which is now our most popular paddle tail. And thank you, Joel. And so the Mulligan's a 4-inch lure, the regular Mulligan, a 4-inch lure. This is the 5-inch version of it. So basically same concept as the Mulligan. It has the dimples like a golf ball, casts an absolute mile, skips extremely well, and rigs well both on the weighted hooks like we have here for the shallows, as well as jig heads for deeper water. But this thing absolutely launches. It's called the Bomber because it launches. And the fact that all these mullet are here, I mean, just like one little flick of the wrist like that, the thing is gone. So the fact that all these mullet are on this flat, this actually might be pretty good now. Typically I like this either at night or low light. This has got a big old tail in there. It's just creating a bunch of vibration. Oh, oh my gosh, I just had one the first cast.
First cast.
Oh, I was too busy talking. Yeah, I think that was a red too. So this thing has a bunch of vibration, gets attention, and unfortunately I just fumbled right there. See if we can get revenge. That one definitely felt me, but we'll see if he has any friends. But yeah, so basically all I'm doing is I'm just using just swimming this big old paddle tail right over the grass. This rod's so sensitive, you can see that rod tip is literally just on those tail thumps. I can literally feel the tail thumping. So I know when I have weeds or when I don't have weeds. And obviously when I get a strike like I just did, I can feel that too. And again, with a sensitive rod, you can even feel the difference between the pinfish just bumping it, and then the redfish, snook, or trout that thump it, which is extremely important for setting the hook at the right time and not the wrong time. So yeah, the purpose of this lure is just to cover ground quickly and get attention, and obviously to get strikes. The times where it's, no lure is good all the time. So the time when it's not very good to use is kind of like what we have here when it's really calm out. Like last calm, I would really not use it. The fact that we have a little bit of wind ripple now, I think I might have saw a redfish tail come up right there. But you'll be going right near it. But the fact that we have a little bit of wind ripple means that this could still work pretty good. The fact that we have all this mullet on here is definitely nice. Yeah, Joe, you're right in the middle of a nice little spot there.
Yeah, I think I just got some weeds on the.
But yeah, so so as far as the game plan, we started before the sun rose. We started a little island that had a bunch of wind current on it, and picked off a couple trout. And then fishing the next shoreline, spot number 2, we picked off a snook. And this shoreline up here is spot number 3. And then further down, we should get into some good action. You see there's some egrets up there. There's basically oyster bars up along that shoreline in egrets, which is a really good sign of life. And so that's where we're making our way down to.
And talk about how we're using smart fishing spots like the oyster layer and just to pick out spots like this real quickly from home.
Yeah, so with smart spots, and I did a pre-trip plan, so insiders, you can see the entire plan. I actually did it on my phone at the ramp this morning, but oh man, I just had a thump. That must have been something smaller. But yeah, so that was something so I could see it. That was a needlefish. So yeah, the good thing about this rod, I could feel the difference. I didn't set the hook because I felt little taps. But yeah, so with Smart Fishing Spots, because this is an area that I don't fish very often. This is in Bradenton. I live like 45 minutes away from here. Right now, the trend has been to fish around oyster bars. So if there's an oyster bar on a grass flat that has some current exposure, it almost always has some redfish and even trout. And it's really tough to know where all the oysters are if you're new to an area. Yes, you can see some of them on satellite maps, but it's more difficult to pick out. It takes a trained eye. With Smart Spots, with Smart Fishing Spots app, there's a layer called the oysters, and you literally just tap the oyster button, and all of the oysters in all the areas will be highlighted in white, a white ring. So it literally sticks out like a sore thumb. So within, say, 3 minutes of time, I was able to scan this entire bay and know exactly where all the oysters are, and then look at the wind direction and the wind speed and the current flow, and know which exact shorelines and which oysters in particular had the most moving water. And those are going to be the ones that have the most odds of success. So it's really simple as that. So that app has been a total game changer.
Man, there's definitely some.
Yeah, there's a big wake right there.
Some movement over there. I don't know if you can see that, Joel, on the.
Basically, right where I just casted.
Luke's 11 o'clock.
So I'm going to buzz over it. So again, most of these are all mullet, but typically there's some reds hanging around them.
And we made some updates too to the waypoints. And if you don't know what a waypoint is, it's, it can be an actual spot that you caught a fish, an area that looked good, an area you want to fish. It's just a GPS spot essentially on your map, and it's private to you on the Smart Fishing Spots. And a lot of our members are using them. We got tens of thousands of them. And the only thing I didn't like, in the past, you had to take a couple steps to do it. And now we got it where it's just simple, one click, hold it down, write any notes you want to. And that's been huge. Because then you can go and you can even export those to your fish finder. Really, really cool, all the different things you can do. And that's on the far right-hand side. If you're looking at the app, you have all the different layers on the left, tides in the middle, and then all the other miscellaneous distance tools and waypoints and routes and tracks are all on the far right. And I think personally, we do a poor job of talking about it. But man, that's so much valuable data there.
Yeah, I'm replacing my GoPro battery here, but yeah, another cool thing that we just added is for any pictures you upload into the community, is now you have a personalized report. So from the picture, as long as you have your settings on, it has the location, the GPS location, the time of day, and Smart Fishing Spots takes that and it knows exactly where it was, and so it'll show the exact tide, what the weather was doing. And also the location, and so you can build your library of fishing reports and then filter down to every single fish you caught that was in the month of September on an incoming current flow, on incoming tide. And it literally filtered down just to those pins. So they're their own waypoints on the app. Really awesome. So if you want to really fine tune your spot selection on past reports, it is absolutely amazing. The best thing I've ever seen. And so you can literally go back and upload the last 5 years of pictures if you want, and all of that data is still there. Really cool. All right, I'm going back to the tweaker.
Building your own logbook in seconds. So yeah, we're all starting to do that internally, and it's pretty cool. And at some point, we're already working on some new AI things to start predicting and almost giving you alerts like, hey, Joe, you've caught redfish every single October, and this tide in this area, you might want to go back and fish it again. Kind of cool, whereas most people would have no idea unless you spend a ton of time going through your old pictures or a logbook. Really, really neat what we're able to do with some technology. It's pretty cool. Also, too, you'll start seeing in the community a lot more what we're calling now pro staffers, is at least the current name as we're recording this. And these pro staffers are really just other members, some guides, some just very, very avid hardcore anglers, some YouTubers, a little bit of, I had a hit there. A little bit of everything. That might be that needlefish again, just popping it. But they're going to be sharing reports in their area. So we've got like one in South Carolina, one in North Carolina, one in South Texas, one in Middle Texas. Essentially kind of becoming like, I don't know, assistant coaches if you're into Little League Baseball. Go to Lake Mary, Florida, if you guys saw that. Did you see that, Luke? Did you watch that game?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude, were you born in a barn? Joel, did you watch it? Oh,
Is that the Little League World Series?
You guys just hate kids or what? What's going on here? Yeah, Florida won the whole thing.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. On a bunt. I saw the final.
Yeah, it was a bunt heard around the world. Yeah, a little right outside of Orlando, Florida. Pretty cool. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Pro staffers.
Pro staffers to Little League Baseball to bunts.
Went to assistant coaches is where it started.
Yeah, assistant coaches. So you'll see more and more of that. Just to give a little bit more of kind of some regional love, if you will, I think will be incredibly helpful. And it's just, we're listening to you guys. So if you have anything that you want us to bring to the club, to the community, let us know, because that's how that idea came about. And I'm excited to see where it all goes. And if you think you might be a fit, meaning you're someone who's out on the water every week and every month and consistently catching fish, and you just want to help and get rewarded for it as well, let us know. We would love to entertain that idea. One criteria would be that you have to have a little bit of, not camera experience, but some editing, because a lot of this is video based. Oh man, there's something right over there. I might have just spooked that up. Dang. So anyhow, and we did move the community back to being the home page. A lot of requests for that. So now if you go to saltstrong.com while logged in as a member, the community is now the home page. The other thing I'll mention while we're here is we get a chance for you guys to fish with Joe and Luke, the two knuckleheads on this boat right now. And all you have to do is go give a review, preferably a nice review, of the Smart Fishing Spots app in either app store. And take a screenshot of it. We'll have the link in the community on where to send it in, and you'll automatically be entered to win a chance to fish with us. And chances will be pretty high. We did something like this last time with the podcast, and I think we got 1,000 people or so. So 1 out of 1,000 ain't that bad.
And then we'll go to an area that we know. It won't be like today where we're exploring. So it'll be
either way, we'll have
high
fun.
probability spot.
And it'll be high fives, and heck, we'll even fish with live bait if that's what you really, really request. Right, Luke?
I don't know about that.
Maybe not.
I struggle with live bait.
Struggle bus.
Yeah, so I was trying to get up by this shoreline. This was the plan, and it's the water. We're basically right at the dead low tide. We have very little water movement right now, and it's shallower than I thought. It's not the super low, but we had on the tide chart at the foot level. Actually, I need to pull my phone out and show you. But it's a little bit too shallow up along that shoreline, and it's killing me because those wading birds. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wading birds down this shoreline, and so we just need like another 6 inches of water probably. So we're kind of hanging out around here. I'm still seeing some mullet, and we're just going to kind of slowly meander around, see if we can pick off some of these fish that are waiting to feed up by these birds. The bad thing about right now is they're just spread out. So we have this giant flat. This flat goes all the way like a half mile that way, and so they're going to be spread all around this flat right now, which is making them tougher to locate.
All right, so what do you do in a situation like that where it's
something's following me right there.
A busted spot, if you will?
Go to the next one. That's why I always recommend pick at least 6 spots out. So spot isn't looking good. If there's no life, then pick up and move. Do not waste time if you're not in a good spot, no matter what you do, you can have the most expensive lure or the most expensive rod and reel ever created. If there's no fish there, you're not catching any.
And or if you've spooked them, which I think it's something we need to talk about more often than not, because that's probably one of the bigger issues.
Yep.
Like, we help solve for finding the fish, right? And that's number one goal, because Luke's point, if you can't find them, none of the other stuff matters. But once you do find them, there's nothing worse than spooking them either with a trolling motor going too fast, slamming down, something slamming in the boat. It is amazing. I don't know if you guys watched Pat's video, but he did a little kind of a sound test on what he could hear. And he was in a kayak, which is pretty silent compared to a boat. And did you watch that whole video, Luke?
Yeah.
Wild
absolutely.
what he could hear on his GoPro. And he's like, fish are hearing it even better with their lateral lines, and I could hear it with just a normal GoPro. That was really eye-opening. I remember even Deeks had a camera down that was like out some ways and filming some underwater stuff, and even just the power pole going down, how loud that was. He was like, it sounded on the underwater camera like there was an earthquake going on. So all those little things all add up. And so I think we have a whole course on positioning and approach for that reason. It's not as sexy, if you will, in terms of, oh man, this is what everyone wants, but it's what you need. It's kind of like golf. Everyone wants to be a better driver, right? You want to outdrive your friends and hit these massive long drives off the tee box. What most people need is help putting, which is where most of the extra strokes come in. But it's not as sexy, obviously. You golfed in a while, Luke?
It's been over a year for me now.
Dude, my buddy had one of these TrackMans in his house. He's a big golfer. If you know what a TrackMan is, it's this $20,000 machine that basically tracks everything about your swing, every hit, and you get to play on this big screen on the wall any course in the world you want. It's really, really cool. So you don't have to leave your house, and you feel like you're playing, these really nice, luxurious Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. I'm not a good golfer at all. He's a really good golfer. And it was towards the end of the night, and this guy, his name's Kyle, he loves, what's it called when you Smirnoff someone? Icing them?
Yeah.
Smirnoff ice. So, like, that's one of his things. He does it all the time. So I know he always has Smirnoff in his house. He's that guy. And so with the very end of the night, and I've been playing horrible on this TrackMan, and I'm like 60 yards out, got a pitching wedge. And on the TrackMan, if you hit it, wow, look at all this bait over here on the left. If you hit it within like, 8 feet of the pin, they give you a gimme. They don't make you putt it. So I said, all right, Kyle, 60 yards out, if I can get it in that ring, you have to go ice yourself. And he's laughing. He's like, dude, there is 0 chance you're going to get it in that ring. And I'm not saying I'm good. I'm not. I looked at, I was laser focused on hitting it. I got it in the hole. It actually goes in the pin, it's rolling slow, and Kyle's just like, oh my gosh, and it went in the hole. And that sets off these fireworks on the screen. One of the best days of my life, to see my competitive buddy Kyle have to get on a knee and chug a Smirnoff Ice, which are not tasty, by the way. So anyhow, just wanted to share that. I'm talking about some golf. Other updates, Luke and I both had our vehicles completely go inoperable in the same week. It's kind of crazy. Luke's got struck by lightning, one of those crazy lightning storms. We had one of our teammates, Nick, the tree next to his house got struck. It went into the house, knocked out a bunch of the power, destroyed a few things, burned a few things up. Same week, Luke's truck gets struck by lightning. Crazy.
Yep. So I got a new one.
And we both got new trucks in the same day.
But I was planning on mine. Mine was old. It had a lot of miles as well in the 6-figure miles, and so I was going to get new. I actually meant to get one a month before, and I'm so glad I didn't have time for it. I can't remember what happened. There was one day I was going to go bite the bullet and do it, and I couldn't make it out. And I was trying to do it before the end of the quarter. They usually get better deals, at least from what I've heard. And so I'm so thankful that I didn't have the new truck, because then the new truck would have got struck by lightning. And it now happened about a month ago. It's September 3rd now, is August 5th. And I still don't have the old truck back. They're still working on it, trying to figure out what's wrong. So that would have really stunk to have had a brand new one out of commission that long.
All right, so if you made it this far, we want your comments. Luke got a Ford F-150. I got Chevy Silverado, the ZR2, a diesel. Feel like a little bit tougher. I read the Diesel Brothers book. They said you're not truly a man until you've owned a diesel truck. So I now officially am a man, my first diesel. Comment down below, what's your truck? GM, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Toyota, Honda. Did Honda make a little truck too? If any of you guys say Honda, I don't know, you might not want to leave that comment. But any of the other ones should be pretty safe. What other trucks? I don't know, I guess Jeep has one. They call that a truck, right? Joel?
More of a truck than a Honda.
The same guy, Kyle, he's got one of those new Broncos with the convertible, the top off, and our kids are all the same age, so we all hang out together quite a bit. And we went to a park in Lakeland, Florida, and he pulls that thing up one of those beautiful days, and this Jeep pulls up next to him. You know, Jeep owners, proud people. If you got a Jeep, proud people. And a lot of cool little things with Jeep, from the, you know, how you wave and giving out little ducks and stuff. And so Kyle's just kind of chatting it up with these Jeep people, putting sunscreen on the kids. And we come back, and they were still there, you know, putting sunscreen on their kids. We come back after hanging out at the park for a couple hours, and there's a little sign that they put on Kyle's Bronco, and it says, "At least you tried, ... Jeep life." And I was like, well played, Jeepers, well played. At least you tried. Well, man, this area looks so good, Joe. I don't know if you want to focus in on this, but we've got everything we talk about here. Yep. We have white birds, egrets, oysters, mangroves, a little bit of grass. I mean, this is a good looking zone here.
Yeah, it's just the water's just a little bit too low, because those redfish want to be feeding on top of those oysters, but they should be hanging around. We're in about maybe 12 inches of water now. Thankfully, this boat goes super shallow. So if we catch anything right now, it'll just be reds. The snook won't be up here till it's higher.
But this is the kind of area you're looking for. Yeah. Obviously, you want to hit it at the right tide and have some current flow, etc. But man, this looks muy perfecto.
We should be able to pick out some fish here in a little bit.
Golly, I keep getting grass. And I'm weedless. It's just getting stuck on the back of my Haas Helix.
Because what I really wanted to fish are these little intakes. There's some little creeks that kind of come through out here, and I just think it's going to be too shallow to get up to them.
Well, at least we're in the small boat, not the big Pathfinder.
And that's another benefit of using Smart Fishing Spots, where I have a satellite image of all this stuff, and I know that there's a pond back behind here with these little entryways into it. And so right now, the fact that this water's so low, those fish, instead of pushing way out here on the flat, they probably push back into that pond. Because it's too deep to see the bottom. I can obviously see the bottom on the satellite maps all around here. So yeah, my guess is that those fish just pushed just out of reach from us. But there's another entrance further up that we might be able to slide into and get some casts into some deeper water. But even right here, like, there should still be some reds on this shoreline. Yeah, we have like oyster bar. There's like 6 of them lined up here. This looks awesome. The missing link though is mullet. I'm not seeing any mullet in this zone. So I kind of wish I didn't go so fast over those other mullet we fished earlier. But we will see.
Yeah, that is crazy how many mullet were just back behind us on that flat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no sign of bait here. To come back here in another hour or two. This will be a time where you take out the app and save the waypoint with a little note. hit this area at this tide.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the notes features. We could even literally say, like right now, it's basically like a 1.1 probably as far as the tide level. And so you could put notes on all your waypoints and say, hey, like do this, add. So we probably need like a 1.7. Like this would be really good at a 1.7. These oysters would be a little bit under the water. Fish starting to feed around them. So having that log is extremely valuable.
Did you see that news on the big bass circuit, bass fishing professional circuit, that they're now banning that sonar, all this?
Oh, really? The live scope?
What's that?
Live scope you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Dunskies. Now, will bass and the MLB do it? Or MLF do it?
Yeah, 'cause they like, a lot of those guys like live by that stuff now.
I know. So what's happened is a lot of these youngsters that have access to a lot of dinero, because I mean, some of these units are $50,000, $60,000, not for the boat, for your electronics. And they got really good at it. I mean, they're essentially just gamers. I mean, it looks like you're playing a fishing game because you can actually see the fish. You can see the fish strike if you have the right tackle. And so all the old school fishing, like what I think is really fun, like going through lily pads and fishing docks, it's gone. They're just going out in the deeper water, finding these big schools of fish and dropping right in on them. And so it's completely changed the game. And a lot of the old school guys, like the Kevin Van Dam and Ike Anellis, these power fishermen, they can't keep up with it. I mean, once again, it's not cheating, it's technology, just like smart fishing spots, but it is so far advanced and so different where it almost doesn't feel like fishing. At least here, yeah, we had some technology to help us find the spot, but we're having to work for it. We're not seeing the fish. And these guys, if you watch them these tournaments, they don't even look out. They're literally just staring at a screen the entire time they're reeling. And they can see the fish attack or not, or turn away. I mean, it's more like a video game than anything else. And so I think there was enough complaining and people just saying, hey, this has gone too far. And I think the best analogy is baseball. We talked about it earlier. Those kids in the Little League, guess what they're playing with? Aluminum bats. Same in high school, same in college. What changes when they go pro, when you get these massive dudes who can hit a home run all day long with aluminum bat? Wood bat. So the technology is there, obviously, but they've taken it away to basically just keep it more fun and keep it more honest. So I think that's the best analogy, because clearly Major League Baseball could make a ball that goes farther. It's not like that's the most not technologically advanced baseball ever made, and certainly we already know there's bats that could hit it 20 to 30% further. So I think that's the best analogy. Interesting to see what happens if bass or Major League Fishing does it, then man, that changes everything. But that was big news, and a lot of people are all fired up on it. Obviously, the people who, can you imagine though, if you invested that 50 or 60K in order to win tournaments, and you've spent the last 2 years of your life doing nothing but trying to learn this new game, if you will, and now you're being told you can't even use it legally. It's like rough. So I feel for both sides, but I also get it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, Joel's telling to wrap it up. I guess we're out of batteries or Joel's bored to death because we've only caught one fish on this episode. But hopefully you guys learned something about Luke and I and our truck preferences. And next time we'll talk about our diets. And kidding, of course. Next time we'll catch more fish. That is our promise. But yeah, we hadn't done this in a while. We've been crazy busy. Luke got COVID, and I was doing a lot of traveling. Did some pretty cool offshore fishing stuff, and in Cabo, and even went to Costa Rica. So now we're back to the basics. Kids are back in school, back here in front of the camera, so be prepared to have more of these. And let us know too about your truck preference. That was one question. And anything else that you guys want to see in the community and or smart fishing spots, please let us know, and do it through the community. We're most likely going to be hiring someone just to manage that, because there's so many comments that are going up like every 5 minutes. It's tough for us and tough for our coaches to get to every single one. So we're probably going to be hiring someone soon that you'll be seeing in there to help really just kind of be even more helpful and answer any and all questions. So that's community.saltstrong.com. If you're not a member, what the heck are you waiting on? Come join us and the now almost 60,000 others in the Insider Club. We appreciate you. Luke, any final words?
No, that's it. We'll catch more next time.
Whoop, whoop.
See you.
See you guys.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.